Hi, welcome to another episode of The Sit-In. I'm your host, Martina Barksdale. Here at The Sit-In, you ain't got to get up. We focus on marginalized communities, specifically Black people, giving them a platform to talk about their struggles, successes, and all that jazz. We have an exciting show for you today. I'm excited about it. We have what I like to call a Millennial Divine Nine episode. If you all don't know what the Divine Nine is, we got reps from each org. We could go and get these introductions started.
My name is Phillip Francis. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated across Kentucky State University.
I'm Shayna Sawyers. I am Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated representative across the Morehead State, Spring 13.
My name is Kiah Martin, Spring 11 Deuce Club. I came in at designing chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated.
Hello, my name is Kiah Arnold. I'm a representative of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and I am the solo Ace Club of the Ada Rho chapter at Eastern Kentucky University.
Hello, my name is Isaac Epps. I crossed at the University of Kentucky as a side chapter in 2013.
My name is Emmanuel Washington, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Gamma Phi the Pinnacle chapter, Tuskegee University.
My name is Tevis. I'm a proud member of the Frankfurt Alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity. I graduated from Kentucky State University.
Hi, my name is Lalah, Ware. I'm a representative of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated across Spring 15 at Morehead State University.
Name is Alex Mapp. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, crossed at Eastern Kentucky University, the Delta Sigma chapter 2013.
All right, I appreciate you all being with me today. For viewers that are not necessarily familiar with Greek life orgs, how would you describe that in a few short sentences? Tia?
I think I'm the oldest one in the group because I came in 2011. No, you.
How would you just describe what Greek life is or orgs? Like for people that are just not familiar, I'm talking about never heard of it or what it is.
I would describe it as a legacy of Black Americans from dating all the way back in 1906 to create a space for the upper echelons of Black folks who were going to college, because there was a time where secret societies or secret social groups were being started in colleges and Black folks didn't have a space to get in. So these organizations were birthed out of knowing that we needed a space and we deserved a space, and since they wouldn't invite us in, we made it for ourselves. And that's what Greek life is.
Okay, I like that answer. And being that your orgs, a majority, if I'm correct, are centennial or over 100 years. Zeta just celebrated their centennial. Woo woo. Okay, so Lalah, how do you think it's changed over the course of over 100 years for organizations?
It's just greatness. I mean, being able to connect with people, network with people, being able to meet people from all over, having chapters all over. Just a big, giant family is how I would describe it.
Yeah, and we talk about networking. Emmanuel, how has, being an alpha helped you with networking and your business and growing your career?
Well, most of us are introverts or extroverts, but in the community of family, networking is just saying hello. And that's from the gist. You learn a lot about how to actually be and speak and to be the support mechanism and the voice of your community and to join into one common fold. So networking is really not about what organization you're a part of. It's really about the community that you're a part of and what your goal and guide is to uplift and to lead the community that you are a part of, whether you're Black, white, but as long as you're a part of the organization, you take on a mission.
Right. So being that you're talking about the community, and Isaac, I know you are from Louisville, you went to UK, and now you're in Atlanta. How has your frat helped you just with your transition?
A lot. My career, I'm an accountant. I was inspired to be an accountant by one of my fraternity brothers here at the University of Kentucky. And when I moved to Atlanta, a lot of the brothers from the Midwest, which is where my chapter is at, a lot of them moved to Atlanta as well and set me up and got me organized there, telling me the locations to live at in Atlanta, and made sure to, link with me and get me connected to their email servers and everything. So, and not just within, like he said, just within my own org, but other orgs, seeing anyone from the Divine Nine there, they've always been helpful. So it's been a great benefit.
Awesome. And Phillip, I know you have experience at a PWI and also HBCU. Can you talk about your experience there and what made you want to even join?
Actually, funny story, when I was in Indiana State, the first probate I seen was a Sigma probate. It was a culture shock transition from Indiana State to Kentucky State, from one, how people dress, and really just how business is conducted. To me, I feel like everybody can say the same. Me joining a fraternity taught me how to conduct business the way it's supposed to. And I think that really stood out to me from a PWI to HBCU. Especially the group is a lot stronger to me.
Right.
Everybody's not so separated. I can't speak for everybody else, but in case I felt like we was all we bunched up together really quick. So that's just my personal take on it.
Connected as a family, and you crossed undergrad as well?
Yes.
So most of you crossed undergrad, but we do have a grad. Tell us a little bit about your grad experience, Elijah.
It's really two big things when you pledge grad chapter. I think like a lot of the motivation has to be internal, because you're not going to reap something like you're still going to see some of the hardships of pledging, but you don't get to do the step shows, you don't get to throw the undergraduate parties and all of that stuff. So my biggest reason for pledging is like my older cousin Darren happens to be a Kappa, and that was something that I wanted to start a tradition in my family. And the second thing is like growing up the way a lot of young black men grow up, you don't have like the male role models and stuff like that. So a lot of times when I'm at these chapter meetings, me and my line brothers are the youngest people in the room. So they kind of showing us like how to conduct yourself like a man and what you're supposed to do. And we talk about our families and their wives and their kids. And that's something I've really drawn from and I don't think like I would have gotten that pledging undergrad.
Right. It definitely brings a different perspective. And speaking of family, and I know some of you, especially Kiah, your mom was a Delta. Share a little bit about your experience, and did she have any influence in why you pledged?
Yes, so my mother definitely did have an influence, and my godmother, on my decision to become a Delta. It was something that was always around me. I didn't know at the time when I was little that, what it was exactly. She didn't really explain it, but I was in the youth programs. I even had a little tin cup that said Future Delta on it, so it was like ingrained. But with her and my godmother, I saw all of the work that they were doing out in the community, and it was either church, work, or Delta. And I was always around those strong women, and it was a no-brainer for me once I became of age, like this is the organization I want to be a part of.
Oh, awesome. And speaking of family, I actually have my cousin here, Alex Mapp, Omega Sci-Fi. So being that we don't necessarily have a bunch of Omega men in our family, I know our experience in church, our pastor as well, did that have any influence on why you decided to pledge?
I would say that did have an influence. I really didn't think about it until I got to school, until I found out that I was interested in this organization. I feel like I found it, but it was also like it found me as well. Like you said, pastors are Q, and I feel like that definitely had an influence, and I didn't really realize it until I got older. I'm seeing all these different signs, like, okay, so he was in my life, he was Omega, he was in my life, he was an Omega. I see how they do things. I was like, you know what? I really feel like I want to be a member of that organization, and that just led me to where I am now.
So I know you all can't reveal too much, but if anyone's comfortable about just telling me a little bit about the process, not thoroughly because I know that's tight-lipped, but can anybody speak to their experience going through actually pledging?
I can go first.
It's a lot of fun.
One for me, really just no excuses by any means. So just getting things done when it's supposed to be done.
And then for those who are unfamiliar with Greek life or anything like that, every organization has a set GPA that you have to meet, a set credit hours, which all of ours vary, set credit hours that you have to attend, community service, and things like that going, just to even be seen, right?
Because it's almost like a process before the process. Like you don't even know. It's not like I can just, hey, I want to pledge. Like it's not like that. So can somebody tell us, for our viewers out there that might be undergrad or even grad who are interested in joining some part of the Divine Nine, like how does that process go if I wanted to do a grad chapter and get information about that?
As far as grad chapter, it might be a little bit different. I'll speak on undergrad first, so just because I'm more familiar with it. But basically for undergrad, if you're interested in an organization, you need to make sure that you're, studying all that you do, all that you can find about that organization, as well as other organizations to figure out why it's this organization that you want to be a part of.
Mm-hmm. And then, just to add on that too, and then you have to think about it. Undergrad, one big question is too, yes, this is undergrad, so you want to surround yourself with people who you look up to, who are doing things, but also remember this is a lifelong commitment too. So yes, the undergrad may be popping or whatever you may have it, but you got to think about this is, we die with this. This is it. You know what I'm saying? This is lifelong. You just don't go in because of school and things like that. You need to make sure this connects with you through lifelong.
Right, and I think that's where Black orgs differ from white orgs. I talked to some people that I know, even Black people that I know that did a white organization in college, and
it stops.
And it stops after, and I'm like, that's not the way. I didn't know that. Like, they're like, yeah, I'm not part of it anymore. I'm like, I thought you die with this, and I was like, no, only in Black orgs. So what do you say to like the naysayers? In the age of social media, everybody got something to say about somebody in the Divine Nine and talking about this or that. I don't feel like some people always see the benefits of that. So what do you all say to the naysayers?
Just back to, I guess, the process. I think any organization, regardless of who you join, should be able to, if you're in development, should be able to help you communicate, should help you unify, and should help you to think. So any one of those three things that fall apart, as a team, you have friction. So I think that's the biggest thing within our community is being able to communicate, unify, and thinking is what's going to move our community as a whole, Black organizations, Black communities forward. And that's the biggest thing that I would say, bar none, that you need to be able to learn or do. And if an organization is going to help you do that, all is well.
What I would say is, I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I would never try to discredit somebody for saying what they feel. But as far as like the naysayers, it's like just hating. Like it's like, bro, we saw you at the interest meetings. You was at all our events, and now you like. You can't, like, it's that part that I don't like about it. But everybody else who kind of feels the way they feel, like, I get it, but it's not your business.
Right. So. And we talk about how, I think you all have done a great job of communicating how this has helped you grow into who you are today and has helped you in your personal life and career life. But let's talk about the fun stuff a little bit. Let's talk about the strolling and all that kind of, so for those who don't know what strolling is, or can somebody have a brief definition of that? Or, well, y'all don't stroll.
I'll start by saying, as a member of Omega's Top 5, we do not stroll, we hop, and we set out marches. So definitely, seeing that, when I first saw that, like, it definitely gave me coach. It's like he was saying, like, my first probate was acute probate, and I was just like, man, like, this energy here, like, what these guys are doing, like, this stuff is crazy. Like, I want to do this stuff. And I can remember times before I joined the organization, I was in the mirror practicing stuff, trying to practice a neck roll, trying to throw the hooks up. But definitely just makes you, that visual aspect right there, seeing the marches and seeing the hops and everything, and just seeing all the energy and enthusiasm that people have, I feel like that really, draws you to it as well.
It's nothing like seeing a unified line or group moving in one and doing it powerfully. And I think that's what exemplifies all our organizations, to define that mission, whether you're strolling, hopping, setting out a march, whatever it is, that you're doing it in a unified set, and it's powerfully and you're confident, which is what we stand for as Black excellence.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'll be doing it, but I can't do it with, like, my friends, AKA, but I can't do it with my pinkies out. I just be like, my pinkies in, like, don't have, because I'm not trying to get beat up in these streets. So, not that y'all would ever do that. Well, not that y'all would ever do that. I'm just saying you all worked hard to get where you are, and I would never want to disrespect that, but it does look fun. But piggybacking off of that, being that I'm not part of the Divine Nine or in the org or anything, there there's been a little controversy over the internet with Boosie wearing a Kappa sweatshirt. So how do you all feel about non-Greek people participating in Greek stuff? Is it disrespectful? Like
Very, but yeah, because like all of us can say like my letters wasn't given,
right?
It was earned, and a lot went into that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just wake up one day and decide I want to be an AKA. I just didn't go sign my name on the dotted line. Like this took time. I had to, build with my line sister. I had to build character. I had to learn values, and it just wasn't something that was gifted. So when people do it, it's like, you didn't work for this. You know what I'm saying? It's just like somebody going into your profession who has no training, nothing, telling you what to do. Right. It's like you didn't go through.
So what do you say about? And I think you wanted to say something, Isaac, about like, what if they say I want to pay homage? What if I want to pay respect to, because it is a part of Black history. So what do you say to that?
And I think that's the hardest part about being a millennial in Greek life, because there's a level of ignorance that these people have when they're doing these things. Boosie had a level of ignorance. He didn't know that he could wear the Kappa shirt. He seen it in the mall, he said he liked it, so he thought he was paying homage to the Kappas. So I think we want to be respected, but we have to learn the way of informing people in the correct way so that we're not making our words seem like, it's us against everyone else in the Black community. We got to just, Well,
I will say, Boosie was aware of Kappa Alpha Psi. He has family members that are, and he blatantly said that he knew and he just didn't care.
Yes. I don't think. I think like after hearing his brother speak on it, it's like, because he wouldn't disrespect his brother like that. So he can say but I don't think he really understood the magnitude of what he was doing.
I mean, he took it a step further and did a little shimmy on IG Live.
On his live, he said that he didn't care, and I'm going to wear whatever I want to wear. That's what you all say.
That was after the DMs and the tags. Sometimes we approach things in a way that, it could have been approached in a better way so that we could have informed him and us not looking like we're just aggressive people. Like, we meant to better our community, not hostile.
Because he did say that somebody did speak to him at the basketball game. So.
But I think too, it happened, but I think he did a way of like flipping it to a positive. He was, people attack you, your first guard is to be like, oh, I feel work. But now he's doing it at the Boosie Bash where he's going to have Kappas compete for money. So in a way, now you can give back to your organization. So I do appreciate him for doing that. Like, because he could have just left it alone. Like, okay, well, since I did this, at least let me.
Right.
He could have remained ignorant and basically said.
But you felt like he turned it around.
I feel like
he went
he
loud
did.
again and said that I can't throw up a sign. So people basically he listened to pay homage and respect, and then actually turned it into the positive of what he actually thought would actually help the community, which Boosie has been through a lot based on his own profile and. I mean, he wants to actually unify and uplift the community.
Well, if nothing else came out of this, I felt like people were more aware of, Greek orgs, to respect them, to understand that you all did have to go through a large challenges, I'll make it plural, to get to where you are. And we have to wrap up now, but if you could y'all rep y'all set real quick? I just want to go down the line, throw up whatever y'all can't. And would anybody like to leave us with some last words to people who may be interested in joining the org or might have misconceptions or, just want to know more?
I'll say whatever you choose to do, just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, because one of the most cringe-worthy things that people in Greek life hate to see is like when somebody pledges and then they get a couple years out of school and then they denounce their letters or something like that. And they decide that they don't believe in it anymore. It's like, but
I would say that make sure that you're prepared to do the work. These organizations are all about work, and it's a lifetime commitment, and it's about service to the community. So it's not just supposed to be self-serving. Like, take your influence and help somebody else, help the next person.
And then and don't, and don't let the letters, be you. You know what I'm saying? Don't like, oh, I'm this, I'm that now. But let it add to your character. Let it, build you up. Like, if y'all knew the Shayna in 2012, I was a hot mess. But I didn't let the letters, like, oh, I'm an AKA, but it helped build character. Don't let it be like you turn into a new person because you're Greek, but let it build you and then invest what you've learned and put it into someone else.
I was gonna say, just do your research. Like, not every org is for everybody, so make sure you pick the org that is right for you, that is comfortable for you, so you make the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do it, then do it. Don't join an organization and half-ass it and be sometime. Like, if you're gonna do it. Participate in events, go to functions, everything. Just make sure you're getting the full experience of it.
I would say check all of our websites. At this point, like, we threw around the word pledging, but all of us join our organizations because none of us are a pledging or hazing organization, so that's first. And we all follow a level of transparency with our membership process. So go online, read as much as you can about membership intake. It does cost money to be in our organizations. First to join, and then it's money to help serve. Because when you're serving, it requires putting that out. And then follow up with somebody in that organization and ask all of your questions. And be fully aware of what you're committing to. It's a lifelong thing.
Remember that Divine Nine is a unified organization, non-panhellenic. So although you may see us, bicker or fight, allegedly. But at the same time, you'll see if you talk about all of us as an organization, how quickly we come together. So that bickering and fighting is more just us playing like a game of cards when we're with family, basically. So it's no real bickering between us as organizations, but we're a unified front, and we want our community to be the same.
For me, usually, you may see a lot of us working for our organizations, doing a lot of community service, but don't get it twisted. Like, your org can work for you as well. Yeah. So networking and stuff, like, it's been multiple times where I've been out of state, or I might have been short on some change. Like, for example, when we went to Tuskegee, had a football game. After that, I went out with some of the Tuskegee brothers, and they had 20 people in the yard at the time. And like, they welcomed me in, fed me, helped me with jobs, resumes, whatever.
The red carpet team,
Shout out to Tuskegee. Networking is really big, so the organization can work for you as well as you working for it.
And I would say the experience is very valuable. I think one thing that people will miss is that we are registered nonprofit organizations.
Yes.
So you're really running a budget, you're running events. I mean, there's so much that you can take from the experience that's helped me personally in my professional career. So definitely look into it.
Yeah, I would say discretion as well. I feel like when you're interested in an organization, it shouldn't necessarily be something that everybody should know. You just want to make sure the only people that know this are yourself and the people of that organization that you want to join. It's not something that should be broadcasted.
All right, I can dig it. Thank you all for all coming here. I cannot believe I got all 9 reps in the room. Let's give a round of applause. Y'all got we're having such a good conversation. My production is over here like, wrap it up. So with that being said, thank you all for coming and sitting in at the sit-in. Here you are belong, here you are heard, here you are seen. This is the sit-in. You ain't gotta get up.